Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sips Sports Bar, 3024 West Liberty Avenue, 15216. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I got Smokin' Jim Frazier here. I want to thank everybody for all the likes that we got on Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. 3,068 I was told we're up to. That's another new high. We appreciate it. Watch us on Verizon 32 in the greater Pittsburgh area. Only Comcast 7 in Bethel Park. And then on YouTube, we're on 24/7. And we have over 200 plus shows that you can find. I was just asked by a friend of mine, Mario Tempest, how do we see your Pittsburgh Sportsline in Studio show? That's on YouTube also. Everything is archived there, so check it out. Now we have a special edition tonight, and it's very difficult for me to talk about it. And I was told about a murder of a gentleman who's going to be on our show. His daughter was killed January 19th in Philadelphia, and it made all the national news and everything. And through Bob Cresson, with Empire Investigation LLC, we're going to try to broadcast this out to get the killer, and we're going to have Troy on, and Bob's going to be on. They're going to explain some things. And I'm going to do something that I never do. I never have a scripted show officially. I'm going to be reading. So we're going to start that right now. These grieving parents haven't had a moment of peace since the night of January 19th, 2014. They lie awake at night questioning. Thoughts of Amber's happy life pop into consciousness out of nowhere. They still impulsively think that they'll call her and share some family news. Then they realize she's gone and will never be able to rejoice in a cousin's track medal, never to be able to celebrate another birthday for her grandmother. The vibrant young woman full of love for life will never have the wedding she dreamed of, never have the children she craved. Look closely at this photo. Amber was destined to create a lasting beauty through her art, her dream that'll never be realized, a life too short, a cruel and brutal end to all she could have been. The intrusive, ugly thoughts that come flooding in on a whim, too. Different from the warm and fuzzy memories, these are rough and hideous speculations. What was she thinking in those last moments? Did she suffer? Please, God, did she think she didn't suffer? Was she scared? Did she know what was happening? What was her last thought? The fact is that someone, somewhere, saw something. Nothing will bring Amber back, that's true. But we can do is to bring justice in her name. They're still looking for the killer. We're trying to help them find this killer of this hideous crime. It was a purse snatching, and she got shot right in front of her mother. And I'm going to bring on her dad right now with Bob Cresson. So Troy and Bob, will you come up here now?
Al and Smokin' Jim, I want to thank you guys first off for having us on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we just want to get the killer here and try to, promote this in the best way to stop hideous acts like this. And if somebody saw something, to come out and report it. That's what we want. And Troy, I know this is tough. I have a daughter. I can't even imagine what you're going through. I have a son also, and I would really be at wit's end. So I'm really glad to have you on here. And I just want you to tell whatever you're capable of telling here now on this show.
Well, I appreciate you having me on this. I really do.
Yeah, here, this mic.
There are actually 3 people out there. On the 19th, her and her mother were walking on Front Street in Philadelphia, coming back from a party, going to pick up her car next to her boyfriend's house. 2 guys walked towards them, split in 2. One of them took my ex-wife's purse, the other one took my daughter's purse. My daughter grabbed a hold of her purse, and as she grabbed a hold of the purse, the guy pulled a gun out and shot her straight in the heart.
It's unbelievable to hear something like that. I'm like, that was something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then and then they both jumped into a car that was waiting for them and took off. And there's video of it, but they still don't have clear video of anything. And we're just trying to find anyone who knows anything, who's seen anything, that recognizes any of these people to call. There's a $30,000 reward out for any tip that leads to an
How do
arrest.
they get a hold of you? What phone number do they call?
They call the Philadelphia detectives.
Or you can call us at Empire Investigations.
Or
Also,
Empire.
we're going to be running a call center for this. So you can call Empire Investigations at 412-921-4046. We'll help orchestrate this. We also started a platform. It's called Private Eyes for Your Private Lives, where we make you the star. It's all about you. When people hit a dead end, police, media, lawyers, individuals, we're here for you. What we're doing is creating a platform to host these type of vignettes of video. And we're not going to stop till we catch these killers. We'll take this thing national. We'll go to every show out there. I mean, that's my pledge, to this situation. And we just want to help him. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to be a father and lose my son. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I give this man a lot of credit.
My only daughter.
Only daughter.
My only daughter.
We'll never
have another one.
This is a very sad thing. And there's also a web page to go to.
It's amberjlong.com. You can check out everything, the videos on there of the killers.
I saw the video. That's why I'm bewildered that they haven't caught anybody at this time. So this isn't January.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
It's been 6 months now, exactly.
With all the technology, with experts like Bob and everything else, I know that we're going to get the killer.
And so far they haven't been able to figure anything out. And they're still working on it, I believe that. I believe they're working hard on it because this was senseless to shoot an 80-pound girl. Why didn't he just smack her? Why didn't he just throw her down? Why he did this, I have no idea, to ruin someone's life.
Wasn't the purse just thrown away too?
Give us
a little bit more details that you've shared with me.
After they drove off, the purse that they stole, which was actually my ex-wife's purse, they didn't actually get my daughter's purse. We actually had her phone. They tossed it out the window about 4 blocks down the road probably because the person who shot her was young and inexperienced and just did it because he didn't know what he was doing. I don't know. I don't know why. I have no idea why he did it, but they got nothing. It was a $14 purse that she had bought that day. They had, between the two of them, like $8 or $9 in their purse and nothing else. It was senseless. They got nothing. All it became was a murder, a senseless murder.
But then the police did find the phone and elaborate on what happened.
Eventually, they found the phone. A homeless person picked up the purse. He took the phone. He activated it, turned it on because it was off at the time. They went looking for him. They found him, and he said he took the purse and he threw it in the mailbox, which they said they mailed it back. And actually, I haven't heard what they've done with the purse since then.
Really?
I don't know what the police said that when the U.S. Mail gets the purse, they send it to Atlanta, and then Atlanta sends it back to whoever. And to my knowledge, we've not even received it back yet. So I don't know what's happened with the purse.
But then one of the leads, wasn't it? We believe it might be a rental car.
They think it was a black rental car that was very common. They believe it may have been New York. They think they got enough off of the license plate for a New York, but they didn't get any clear numbers off of it. They totally believe that if you watch the video, these people they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew where they were at. They were is a very nice neighborhood, very wealthy little neighborhood that they were walking to, and
no, it's very tough. I don't know what I would do in this situation, but you are trying to do the right thing. You got help here. We're trying to find out who did this, at least get more action here. Make it go national, because if these people are on the run or wherever they might be, they'll get tracked down.
Yeah, they're out
there. You have
there.
a great video there.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that just because of that, that it'll help you. I did check it out. That's Amber J. Long website.
That's correct.
So I appreciate your time. I don't want
thank
to put
you.
you through
Thank
any
you.
more of this.
Thank you for having me
because
on.
it's rough for me right now.
Yeah.
Okay, it really is. So I want to shake your hand
Thank you.
and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We're going to do what's on our mind. And I'm going to start with Smoking Jim Frazier, because he's one of the best. And what's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Here you go, buddy.
you got to see Levine. It's a little tough. Right after that, our prayers go out to the family and friends of all the lost ones this year and before. I'd like to start off the show. Please Put your hands together for international master photographer Bill Boyce is in the house. Can we finally call Chuck Noll the greatest coach who ever lived? He came to a team that hasn't won anything in 40 years. He won 4 Super Bowls. He drafted and developed 10 future Hall of Fame football players. And my good friend Al Levine, the talking machine, tells me that a thoroughbred racehorse has a very small brain. And if you take the size of a peanut and you cut it in half, you would have the size of a brain of that idiot Terry Bradshaw. I've never met a brain surgeon from Louisiana. When the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Terry Bradshaw, he was so dumb he couldn't spell cat if you spotted even a C and a T. As a rookie, he threw only 6 touchdown passes in the league, leading 24 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. In 1971, he only threw 13 touchdowns in the league, leading 22 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. After 5 seasons in the NFL, he threw only 48 touchdowns and a whopping 81 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. He admitted in 1988 that he made a mistake by not going to the Chiefs Art Rooney Sr.'s funeral, but for him to miss Chuck Noll's funeral, he's no longer America's favorite dumb blonde.
Smoking Jim, this is one of the few times that I agree. Well, not 100%. That peanut, I don't want you to think horses have a brain the size of a peanut. They actually have the brain the size of a walnut. But as far as Terry Bradshaw, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. You talk about class. It doesn't cost you a dime, doesn't cost you a nickel. It just costs you some time. There is no class there with a guy who did stick through him. You know, we had a guest on our show, Jim O'Brien, who told us about the Steelers of the 70s. We just did a charitable event at the Rivers Casino with Bill Neal and all that he does. There were 8 Steelers, all with like 4 Super Bowl rings. You couldn't have asked for better guys. And to me, you try to surround yourself around good people. But like I tell Smoking Jim, and he doesn't believe me, that I can work with bad people. Well, all of you watching from the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette, you know what I'm talking about. So my point is I like surrounding myself with good people, and that's what we have with guests. And my buddy here, my brother from another mother, Smoking Jim Frazier. And these are tough times. And Chuck Noll was a legend. But in his private life, you hear all these stories, from going to Myron Cope's house and fixing a radio or something, and all these other, he did all kind of things. He was a neighbor of his for a while. So there's all kind of stories. People come from all walks of life. What's on my mind, we got a lot of great guests. That was just one of the things. He piqued my interest with Chuck Noll because he is a hero. He actually helped the city to survive an exodus of millions of jobs. Imagine that. We had more people out of work than ever, and he actually had a city that was focused on a football team, and it started the legendary run of the Steelers, who had never won before. So it's an honor to Chuck Noll again. Rest in peace. It was a pleasure watching all those games as a young man and seeing what's happened and the legacy he left. And that's what's on my mind. Everybody's been watching me promote this. So without any further ado, I don't even have to announce who it is because you just heard Smoking Jim. He's looking for another signed poster. I told him this one's for the show, but Jessica Lee, will you come on up here and...
Baby noise is good.
Well, that's like your nieces and nephews and cousins that come in. Jessica Lee, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome.
I'm glad you could make the time to come out and help promote. We just want to do this because I'm about different promotions, so I just think it'd be cool. I'm going to have you do one picture.
Oh, with me? Me and me?
Me. So.
Yeah, we have a show at a brand new venue, right?
Well, and that's what I want to talk about first, since we've been promoting this.
Yeah.
and come out to see us Thursday night, the first break of Jessica Lee's Jazz Happy Hour. You'll see Pittsburgh Sportsline, me and Smokin' Jim. We're going to be there, and Zach Brenner is going to make an appearance, and we're just happy
and
that
a
you
couple
partnered
others.
up. We have some others that are coming. I got to announce the Bergman. He's a special character. He's making Jessica Lee and I superheroes in Pittsburgh. He's also friends with the mayor. Bergman, we met at Kumite, and he just loves what I do. He loves what you're doing out there and helping different people with homeless children and everything. When he heard about that type of stuff, he thinks it's great, let alone jazz. So he's going to come in, and he's going to have a special outfit that you won't believe. So when you see that, he has a comic book and all this good stuff. Now the CDC, they're supposed to be there, but they can't make it. They're going to be there in July and August. I've got confirmation of that. But they're putting us out in their newsletter. So that's my latest update. I just got it today.
All right, yeah, so we're going to be at Enigma. Enigma on 7 is a brand new venue, and that's downtown on 7th across from the old Bossa Nova.
Right.
Great new owners, right, trying to make a splash and do something great in the city. So brand new owners will be there Thursday, 5:30 till 8 with a Jazz Happy Hour, and we're going to be filming at the break a show on Sports and Entertainment.
We call it our mini show. You
Sports and
had
Entertainment.
your mini me, but we have our mini me show. We do a 30-minute show, and we highlight a couple guests that are innovators in sports and business and everything else.
And entertainment.
And how can we not say entertainment?
Because sports is entertainment, right? It's part of it. Yeah.
And I think
Part of
jazz
it.
is. Does
Yeah.
anybody think jazz and music is?
Yeah.
So we have an entertainer here, and we're about the arts too and what we promote. And it's just a great venue. It's a change. Jessica Lee has her On the Road in the summer show going on. So this is part of that. And she goes to different places. Like I got to at least mention CJ's. We had a great time out there.
Yeah. CJ's in the Strip.
Right.
Strip District.
Very nice venue. Smokin' Jim, you got to come out there.
There's a big stage at CJ's. Has anybody been there? CJ's in the Strip, 29th and Penn. Yeah, we're there the second Thursdays of the summer, second Thursdays. And the stage would even maybe hold your voice. I don't know. His voice would it's big enough, that room.
His voice is
Like, whoa.
his Smokin' Jim voice and persona is too big.
Yeah.
They're listening to us in the laundromat across the street right now when he's talking. That's how big it is. And then there's the Christine Fauchard Gallery.
First Thursdays.
On
Yeah.
Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill there.
Yeah.
And that's your on the road show.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Different places every Thursday, and you could check out. We post it on Facebook all the time. So
right. Make
Jessica
sure you
Lee,
like
Jazz,
Jessica Lee, Jazz and Blues.
Jazz and Blues, yeah.
Get that up there. We got to get that to hit 500. You need 4. It's
I'm
been
over.
hanging. You
No,
over
I'm
500 now?
I am. Well, I have a personal page too, and most people have a couple thousand on my personal page, and they forget about the music page. So, they think it's all the same on Facebook, but it's all good. And so we are moving around Thursday happy hours this summer,
Right.
and the last Wednesday of every month we're at the Rivers Club, and they open it up to the public. We are always featuring wonderful people who are innovating in the city.
Well,
So
our
that's
good
why our
friend,
partnership is
since you
there.
mentioned Rivers
Yeah.
Club, I was letting you take the lead. Jessica interviews everybody and I interview, so we're having like the battle of the interviewers in a nice way. So one of our good friends, Vince Ornato, who did sketches on our show, he sketched everybody that was here that night and got the sketches out to people, and he's done it for many people. He's a great artist. He was at the Three Rivers Art Festival. He's just a great guy. Wait till you see him. But here's the best thing about the Rivers. Wednesday night, I'll see you. They have an $8 buffet that's normally $16. Well, not counting the music. I mean food. So, the music's great. When you hear Jessica sing and the performers and musicians, can't be beat. But the buffet is really great.
Yeah, the last Wednesdays of every month. Yeah, and actually every Wednesday, the Rivers Club is opening up to the public, 5:30 to 8, with live music and great food. So that's the only time it's open to the public, Wednesdays.
And I want to
Happy
tell
hour.
you that I snuck in there because Jack and Cliff are my new best friends. They said, why don't you come in another night? So I called Smokin' Jim, and he goes, oh, I could have done it after my Steel City Sports World.
Yeah.
So he does another TV show in the city of Pittsburgh. He goes, oh, I love the Rivers Club. I said, well, how about this buffet? So he'll be there. He might be there Wednesday. Don't count on him because he's a long shot, Jess. All right? He's a long shot, but he may show up. If you say you're going to sign the poster,
might happen.
Well, no, we don't want to coerce him because he's an honest man.
Yeah.
I want to keep him as an honest man. And we're talking about all this jazz and entertainment. That was no pun. And sports and everything else. I can't help it. And you were talking about the NBA at one of your shows. And I had told her how I predicted the Heat would win. And Smokin' Jim bet heavy money on the Spurs winning in 5 games. And we had a couple conversations, and I didn't realize how you played basketball and how you know the NBA.
Yeah, I was a point guard growing up. I love basketball, and I've always wanted an NBA team for Pittsburgh. I know Charlotte, North Carolina has one where I was in school there for years, and you know,
What about Pittsburgh? Right.
We could support an NBA team. Now, a lot of people say that we maybe couldn't here in Pittsburgh because we don't have enough basketball fans. But I think if we had an NBA team with LeBron James coming through and, you know, Kobe Bryant and all the big names, I don't know, people might come out and support if we had a team. But I have to say the better team won, I think, this time around.
They proved it.
The better team won.
How could you not?
Yeah.
He got the heavy money. We had a little show. I don't want to bore everybody, but we still didn't get an answer on what heavy money is. I said heavy money to me is like an ounce of gold. You know, and that's about $1,300. So I figured he had 100 of those. But he told me he didn't give an answer. So we don't know what heavy money is. I know you're not a gambler, and I don't promote gambling and anything like that. So that's on Smokin' Jim. He's a known gambler, NFL scout, and everything else. Now, what did you think of the games? That you watched? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the Spurs were so well coached, and you know, if you're getting older, you appreciate the older guys winning one.
And
maybe
Tim
the
Duncan.
last one with Tim Duncan, and you know, I think he's won in 3 decades.
Yeah.
He's won a championship.
Yeah,
in
99
3
was his
decades.
first. So.
Oh, that's amazing. So, but hats off to them because the team ball, the passing, the defense.
With you
it's
speaking of
wonderful, I thought.
passing, with you being a point guard,
Yeah.
did you appreciate 5 and 6 passes?
Yeah,
Maybe
quick.
more?
And quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that what you did back when you played?
Oh, yeah.
Or were you shooting the ball up
Hit
there?
the 3.
Were you throwing that long ball up?
Dished it. As long as even if you're short, if you can get it to the big guys, they like you. That's the main thing. Get it to them.
So you got it inside there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So I still want an NBA team. I think some people here in Pittsburgh would like to have one. I would love to have an NBA team here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So
well,
we'll see.
We're glad with the sports we have that we could always take one more.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I
Well,
think-
what else do you got going on that maybe you want to promote? Because I know you do a lot of things in the city. Is there anything like right now that you'd want to put out there for the people since they're seeing another side? They just know the jazz singer. Now they saw NBA.
Yes, I'm a sports lover, but also I do a lot of nonprofit work for underprivileged youth and a lot of creativity programming where we get all kinds of professionals from all walks of life to coach them and help them to express themselves better, express their hopes and dreams through the arts, but also career programming. So we do a lot with career coaching and internships and training for people to get them on the right track and keep them on the right track. And so, you know, anybody who is looking to volunteer.
How would they get a hold of
anybody
you
who's
then?
Looking.
What's the best way?
The best way is probably Facebook. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's the easiest. Jessica Lee, if you look for Jessica Lee Jazz, you'll find me, a personal page, as well
Okay.
as the Jazz and Blues page. And, you know, we're always looking to do more and more for the the underprivileged kids in the urban at-risk communities especially. They just don't have as many resources and access to as much career assistance.
Sure.
You know? And entrepreneurial assistance. Some
Well,
of them might want
that
to start
ties-
some new things up.
That
you know?
ties in, and I wanted to just tell everybody that you've been doing this for over 13 years.
Yeah.
And you started with your entrepreneurial Thursdays at Dow's, Al Dow's downtown.
Jazz Happy Hour started at Dow's on 9th, if anybody remembers that, and we just always are promoting people doing innovative, helpful things, in the area. And then we went to Little E's, and now we're moving around a little bit. And
Now she's on the road again with her show.
Yeah.
Not that she sings that song.
Yeah.
But it's each week, and we're proud to be a partner with you on it, and that's this Thursday. Don't miss the show. If you like some fun and entertainment, sports talk, and great guests,
Enigma,
come on out. And
Enigma
food and
on
drinks.
7. A brand new place,
Right.
So it'll
Well,
be fun.
Jessica Lee, looking the fun
Nice
on
to see ya.
Thursday.
Al Levine, the Taco Machine, Enigma. So across the street from the old Bossa Nova, if anybody knows where that is. And looking forward to hearing you there and seeing you there too.
You'll hear him.
Yeah.
You'll hear him. Just stand outside.
Yeah, they'll hear him in the O'Reilly Theater.
Right, because I'm deaf in this ear. Just keep talking to me in the right ear. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for having
Hey,
me
take
on the
care of
show.
that little pooch now.
Okay, I will.
All right? You take care. Introduce yourself, and we'll go from there, Bob.
Terrific. My name is Bob LaFawn. I'm the founder and president of a company called the Pittsburgh Games. We do amateur athletic competitions.
Now, this is why Bob's on. He does many different things and has been in business for years. And we even have stories going back to the sunken cork in Mount Lebanon. He told me not to bring personal stuff up, but I figured that was public knowledge back in the day. So we won't go on there. But I remember seeing you back then, and he had a little different look there. I don't know what that means. But
Yeah, I had definitely a little different look. Let's put it this way, I didn't have to wear so much sunscreen.
well, you look good in white. Matter of fact, Smoking Jim's supposed to have a white party. If you put white pants on, you could go to his party.
Oh, well, hey, I appreciate that. He's inviting me on your behalf. So
Always.
Sounds good,
That's
brother.
what
I'll be
friends
there.
are for. Now, this
understand.
Pittsburgh Games, I saw a lot of information out there that you were starting it, putting it together. I saw the process. You even let me say yay or nay to a card and other people. So I gave him some good input on keeping it simple. You can see the Al Levine. I don't even have the talking machine on there. I kept it very simple, and you've done the same.
Yes.
And how did this all come about is what I want to hear the story, so the folks can learn about this and what you're doing.
The short version of the story was this. Like a lot of people, I was sitting on a couch getting fatter and fatter year after year, and I was looking for something to do. Every year, every summer, I'd start the same process of going on a diet, lifting weights, running, taking 20 pounds off, and that's as far as I would get. About 2 years ago, I spoke to a young lady I knew through one of the business networking groups
Right.
we're involved with, the Pittsburgh Social Exchange. Her name's Lisa Spinello. She's an exercise physiologist. And I made an appointment to go and see her because I just couldn't get past this 20 pounds. I could take off 20 and I'd just be stuck and couldn't make any progress. And it was frustrating. And I wasn't getting any younger, of course. So, you know, with 50 on the horizon, which was a couple of years ago, I felt like I had to do something sooner rather than later. So I went to see her. She talked to me about nutrition, talked to me about the right ways to work out. And along the way, I started participating in a lot of athletic events just for something to train for because I needed something extra.
Sure.
More than just the boot camp routines with her and eating well. I needed something to stimulate me and keep me wanting to train.
Right.
So I started participating in 5Ks, 10Ks. I did the craziest thing you can ever do in your life called the Pittsburgh Tough Mudder, which is a remarkably difficult event and not something someone my age should be doing. Been
Not
there-
in their right mind.
Not in their right
I'll
mind.
just tell you that much.
Well,
not in your right
that
mind.
disqualifies me right off the bat. You know that. So,
Amen.
Been there, done it. Won't do it again. Spent an hour in a medical tent afterwards. Although I finished the darn thing, and I was the second oldest person to do it out of 7,000 people. So, big check mark in my box of accomplishments.
Yeah.
So again, tremendous event. But that was actually the event that inspired it. Most of these events are done by nonprofits as a fundraising event.
Sure.
And nothing wrong with that. They're good people doing good work, but they don't. It's not their forte is putting on these types of events typically. The big nonprofits that have national corporate sponsors, yes, but a lot of the local nonprofits, it's not their forte. I just ran a race a few weeks ago. For the third straight year, this race has gotten smaller by 50 people.
Really?
They're barely breaking 100 people, and it's a good, worthwhile organization. So along the way, as a businessman, I started thinking about this and thought, you know, there's a better way to do this. And in interviewing people, I found out that there were a lot of people who didn't like to run.
Right.
They were athletic people, but they liked to bike, they liked to swim, they liked to play other sports, but they weren't into running.
Right.
Pittsburgh has 325 foot races within 10 miles of downtown Pittsburgh every year from April through September. It's just run like there's nothing else to do. And most people felt like they had to turn to their local health club or YMCA to join a basketball league,
Right.
maybe a soccer league or tennis league or something of that nature, but compete against the same people over and over again. Nothing new, nothing different.
Right.
So as I started thinking about this as a businessman, I started coming to the realization that there was a better way to do it, that we needed to create diversity of events. In other words, have some variety, not just have it be another run for people.
Right.
So if you like to do something other than run, we're going to give you that opportunity to do something
How about
other
walking?
than run.
Can I
Yes,
walk?
you can run, you can walk, you can bike, you can swim.
Because at my advanced age, I like to stay in shape, but I do more stretching and yoga and different things and walking.
Well, you can come out and be part of the Greater Pittsburgh Fitness Challenge in December. That's an event we're going to be doing.
Wow.
It's an indoor event, and it's designed for people who just want to test their fitness level. Now, the younger, more athletic people have a chance to compete for the title of Mr., Miss, or Mrs. Hardbody for their age group.
Really?
Yes. So that'll be something unique, and it's going to be a large area-wide event. Haven't settled on a venue yet, but it will be a large event. It may top 1,000 people.
Great.
So that's going to be an extremely large event.
So
But
you
again,
dream big. This is what I tell people all the time. Well, I have a small dream. If you achieve that, how happy are you going to be? Go big.
I've been an entrepreneur and an executive for the better part of the past 20 years of my 30-year career, and I don't do things small. It's not worth the time or not worth the effort.
And Bob, you know where I met you is Jessica Lee's
That's
Entrepreneurial Thursday about 3 years ago.
That's absolutely correct.
So, I mean, that's another catalyst when you talk entertainment
Yes.
and thinking outside the box.
Absolutely, and Jessica is just a sweetheart of a person, very talented business person, very talented artist, entrepreneur, and very involved
As we found out with...
in society and in giving in nonprofits.
Well, I got to interrupt you. You're on a roll. But my friend here, as he's getting advanced in his age,
That's what
needs
very
to get
advanced to me.
Well, he's a young puppy, but he needs to get in better shape, and he's ready to take notes.
All right.
Like I actually have a photo with Lisa that I took at Bellicera. I told you I go to networking events, and that's his physical trainer and nutritionist.
She's also my business partner now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I do have her number. So maybe we can get him in shape.
Oh, yeah.
For your games.
It's not as hard as you think. Seriously, the hardest part has been keeping the weight down. It was not that hard to lose it because I struggled for 25 years trying to get it off. Couldn't do it until I started working with her. She just had to teach me how to break old bad habits. It's like being a 2-pack-a-day smoker. You don't just quit overnight. You wean your way off, and you have to wean your way off bad habits.
He doesn't drink or smoke, but I was supposed to get a couple fries. That's all I got.
There's one left, yeah.
That's mine. And the fries are good here. Don't eat this way all the time, but we're at Sip Sports Bar. And yes, I'm talking with my mouth full, so enjoy yourself.
One other thing, if I can add to that, speaking of nonprofits, I'm a civic-minded person. I've worked with a number of nonprofits for years, been on boards of nonprofits, still am on a couple of boards for nonprofits. Rather than just supporting one organization, every event that we do will have a different charity as a benefactor of that event. Our first event coming up will have the Pittsburgh Homeless Children's Education Fund. The Homeless Children's Education Fund at Pittsburgh. Sorry,
I'm glad you're saying it.
You're
I'm
editing this, right? You're going to clean this up and make me look really good?
Dave Cable, when we get this to the studio, why don't you say that again?
Yes, I'll say it again and edit it so it looks good this time. And add some hair while you're editing.
I can't promise you that.
Maybe a little toupee or
we're not going to do that. We usually don't edit anything because I do it like a live show because we got great popularity with this.
All right.
So we're winging
I'll live
it.
with the mistake. I'll live with the mistake. But it's called the Homeless Children's Education Fund. And they make sure that these kids, and you'd be shocked how many thousands of kids in Allegheny County, greater Pittsburgh area, are truly homeless.
I heard a huge number.
Yes, it's in the thousands. And they're making sure these kids don't slip through the cracks. They're not only helping to make sure they have food and clothing and shelter, but they're making sure that their educations continue and that they just don't have to grow up destitute with no future whatsoever. So that educational component's an important part of that. We're proud to be supporting them with our first event on August 2nd out at Egan Park in Springdale.
Okay.
And the following months we'll have different nonprofits that will benefit from our events as well.
Well, I'm interested in this. I want to find out more. I want to see the events. I can't wait to see this event in August.
Why don't you come out and broadcast at one of the events, do a live show from one of our events?
Wow. Well, we don't have a satellite, but we could actually video it and then come out with it. I'll have to talk about getting volunteers out to this great event. We're already talking business. We're going to be in negotiations later this week. We got other things. I think I got a magazine. Where's Bill Boyce at? I need a photo here. Here, since you got white, this would be a great frame of the magazine with you. We'll just, let me get this mic out of here. Yes. That's how we roll here. Right. No, thank you. Anything else you want to add on getting a hold of you? Tell us again with where they go, like Pittsburgh Games, and if they can sign up under whatever to get a hold of you and find out what the events, how they can get on board with being in the events and competing.
Absolutely. Our website, we made it short and simple, It's thepghgames.com. Thepghgames.com. You can learn everything about us, the upcoming events. Our first event coming up on August 2nd out at Egan Park in Springdale. Justin Hartwig, the former Pittsburgh Steelers center who won our first Super Bowl with Big Ben at quarterback.
Yeah.
Justin's going to be there. Giving out the awards for people who win the age group awards.
Yeah.
Signing autographs and getting the picture taken for them.
That's awesome.
One of our local TV newscasters, Sheldon Ingram's going to be out there emceeing the event.
He's in great shape.
Oh my gosh, he's 55 years old, and I'm still not in as good a shape as he is.
Wow.
And I'm 3 or 4 years behind him.
Well, I'll tell
Whoa.
you something you may not know. He covered Jerry Rice in college football.
Wow, no, I didn't know that. I'm not surprised though, because we both had a chance to play a little semi-pro football together, and if you'll
Pittsburgh
pardon,
Colts?
yes, and if you'll pardon the phrase, he is a stud. And I say is, not was.
Well, we brought up
is.
horses and everything, so
Yes.
you can say
So
that.
it's appropriate,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no problem.
All right, well, I guess
We
that's it for
appreciate
me.
it. No, well, thank you very much for making the
pleasure.
time out. And look for your vehicle out there.
Oh, absolutely. The Pittsburgh Games Mobile.
It's
you can't
wrapped.
visit it.
There's a wrap on
It's
it.
like a mobile billboard. So.
And we're wrapping this up.
All right,
Thanks,
we're
Bob.
wrapping this
Good
up.
luck to
Thank
you.
you.
All right, we got another public announcement from Smokin' Jim Frazier. It just seems like we're trying to help the communities here. I don't know what he's announcing, because even though we're like brothers from another mother, he has secrets that he doesn't tell me. And take it away, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Everybody's invited. Come on out on July 14th. It's our Hall of Fame show, the first annual Pittsburgh Sports Line SIP Sports Bar Hall of Fame. And guess what?
What?
We got a new member. Mario Tempest has just got inducted into the SIP Sports Bar Hall of Fame.
Hooray.
Congratulations.
All
We'll
right.
see you on July 14th. My birthday. Really? Mine is July 17th. Happy cancer.
And we'll be at Enigma, since everybody's doing shameless promotions.
Where?
We'll be at Enigma downtown on 7 with Al Levine, Pittsburgh Sports Line, Jessica Lee at Enigma. And on
before
your
that,
birthday.
If you have nothing to do on July 4th, the 4th of July is Smokin' Jim Frazier's annual white party. Put on your white. Come on out, former Whammo DJ, slide jock is spinning. It's always going to be a sellout. Come on out. It's the only event in Monroeville history that's only $10, and it's BYOB. So come on, bring your favorite bottle. Brewstone, right across the street from Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll have 1,000 people there.
Hey, and Buffalo Wild Wings has some jerseys from Gateway in there, and I didn't see your number, 22. Number 22 wasn't there. But hey, am I invited to this Sportsline Hall of Fame
Well,
thing?
everybody here is invited. I may have a hard time getting in because it is a white party.
I don't know what to say after that. Let's go back to that Hall of Fame thing. I just found out that's a mouthful. You've been talking about it for over a year now, since we moved to SIP Sports Bar in February of 2013. I can't wait to see what happens here.
Can't wait.
Hey, they going to have meatball hoagies on that day? Oh, it's a secret. No, I just want to know then. That's 2 weeks from now. Thank you, Smokin' Jim. And that's all we have on our special announcements. We're going to bring another guest up here. Zeke, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here again.
Now tell them who you are. I mean, I know who you are, and you do a lot of great things.
Well, I'm
Smoking, look up at Bill, the best worldwide.
kind of known mainly as Jessica Lee's sidekick. Do a lot of the business side of the music.
I thought that's who you are. You don't do anything else but that.
No, I'm like Tonto.
Well,
He's a Long Ranger.
I found out
But,
he's like an onion. You know when you peel an onion, you start crying? Well, I'm finding out all these things he does. So, didn't you just retire?
Some people said I never worked.
Well,
But,
I met guys you worked with at
I-
the social exchange.
I made it official.
Did you?
Absolutely.
Well, you're a smart man.
It's a wonderful thing. Not working is much better than working. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
As long as you have something to do. But I'm a guitar player too, so
You got to hear him play. Maybe he'll be playing at
keeps
Enigma.
me off the streets.
Yeah, and you're a dangerous man. He's actually from New Jersey, and he has plenty of stories. The story I'm interested in tonight is how you won the NCAA March Madness bracket.
Wow.
Well, you have to
Listen
understand,
to this.
I do not follow college basketball. I watch some of the tournament, but I know nothing.
Sergeant Schultz.
But I was in the office one day, and just to go along with it, I put some money and bought a sheet to fill in the brackets, and it was basically going to be a waste of time. So on the very last day that it's due, I go out to lunch, and I'm walking back to the office, and there's two guys walking down the street in front of me, and they're talking about the tournament.
Now, he didn't fill out his sheet or anything like he told me. He had done nothing. He had
nothing.
to get it done, and this is just a stroke of luck, Smoking Jim.
This is the day that it's got to be in. So I'm walking down the street. These two guys are talking about the tournament in front of me, and one of them says to the other, "So what are going to be the upsets this year?" And this guy, he's speaking with absolute certainty. He names them.
Wow.
You mean like Smoking Jim when he has heavy money?
Yeah, like that. So
I can relate to that.
now my memory's thinning faster than my hair, but then I still had some memory.
Okay.
So I was able to remember what he.
So by the time
All
you
the
heard
upsets.
them talking about the upsets to the office, you filled out your bracket.
So I filled out my bracket based on what they said.
Wow.
And I ended up winning $1,800 because this guy, he wasn't right sometime. He was right. Everything that he said was going to be an upset turned out to be an upset.
Wow. That's incredible.
And he never saw them again.
Yeah.
Never did that again. Did you play the bracket again after that, or
No,
or were you done?
I
One and done.
one and done. Like you got to know when to fold. And but I call it the Gonzaga rule. It's
Yeah.
like I think.
Listen to his theory on Gonzaga. He was just sharing this with me. He has insights on sports, Smoking Jim, that most people don't have, and that's why I like Zeke.
Like you got to put it in perspective. Gonzaga's like the only team that I would have overridden what they said would have been Gonzaga. And like if they're in a tournament, I would always pick them because they have a funny name. Like who would name their university Gonzaga? If we're going to start a university and say, "Hey Jim, what do you want to call it?" Would you say Gonzaga? I don't think so.
Gesundheit, maybe.
So like they get all these great players.
Right.
You know,
because of the name. That's why they go there, according to Zeke.
Yeah,
This is Basketball Logic 101 with Zeke.
Yeah.
He just shared this before the show.
Yeah,
and
like-
I'm like, we got to talk about this.
2006, they're a third seed. There's less than 4,900 kids go to this school.
Wow.
And they always win their conference. They've been in a lot of tournaments. They usually do okay in the tournaments. There's no explanation other than the name.
You know what? I'm starting to see a pattern. Heavy money and Zeke. Maybe we can get this together. I mean, I don't want to be involved in gambling here because I don't condone it. But if you are a gambler, call Zeke.
But I had to find out, why is Gonzaga called Gonzaga?
Yeah. Why?
And
Why? Why?
I was looking this. I googled this before the show because I thought Al was going to ask me why Gonzaga.
He knows me.
Is called Gonzaga.
Why?
And there's so many people that want to know this. I just typed in Google. I'm a
G.
terrible typist. I put GPZ, and it popped up and said, "Do you mean Gonzaga?" So I
You
said
mean
yes.
Google read your mind?
It did.
Oh,
And one
man.
of the things that came up is, why is Gonzaga named Gonzaga? And it turns out
Why?
that the guy that founded Gonzaga was friends with a guy named Aloysius Gonzaga.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah. If he had been friends with Pete Smith, it would have been Smith. But his friend was Gonzaga, and that's how Gonzaga became Gonzaga.
And for all of you sports trivia nuts out there, including myself, I was going to ask you why. I asked it 6 times till I got the answer. And he come up with the right one.
Hey, here's sports trivia. Gonzaga had 2 players who led the nation in points scored, and they were Frank Burgess and Adam Morrison. So that proves, with a crazy name. So Pitt, are you listening? Change your name.
Zeke, I never thought we'd get insights like this. I thought you were a great musician, Jessica Lee's sidekick, retired from insurance. Now I'm seeing another layer here.
Hey,
What other sports stuff can you tell us here? No, I don't want to pick everything out here. Hey, we're going to bring him on another time. Maybe you could even tell us about Bruce Springsteen.
I'll do that.
Why don't you just do one of those stories there? Since we're arts and entertainment, we're warming up for the show at Enigma because we're entertainers too, from what Jess told us. So.
sounds good.
And she let us run free. She's gone, so we'll just run free now. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Give me one story.
Well, I was actually Springsteen's guitar player, Steve Van Zandt, and I went to the same high school. And we were in garage bands together at the same time. And a lot of the places at that time would have two bands playing at the same time. So one time we were playing, and Steve came walking over to me and said, like, we got to work out who's going to be playing when. So we're going to, like, since none of us had particularly great memories, we're going to write it down. So he was wearing, which he frequently did at this time, he had on like a tux coat that was full of incredible number of holes,
Yeah.
and a top hat. Wow. And I said to him, he said, like we were talking about it, he said, well, we better write it down. And I said, well, do you have a pen? And I'm not making this up. He pulled the coat open, and there had to be, like, he had like strips sewn in there. There had to be 50 different colored pens. And he goes, what color would you like?
No. Unbelievable. So Stevie Van Zandt. That's a great story. Zeke, you could go on and on. He's on a roll, but we only have so much time on the show. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy retirement schedule.
Oh, it's killing me.
I know, and we'll see you on Wednesday at the Rivers Club. At least I will.
Yeah.
And then Thursday we'll be there filming.
And where will we be? Will we be on Thursday?
Enigma.
All right.
On 7. Serious with this smile that we're going to have some fun right now.
Oh, jeez, I'm in trouble.
So,
I'm in trouble. I'm going to burst your bubble. Come on, Smoking Jim. Let's do it on the double. Let's double team them. Let's do the same.
It's no problem. A matter of fact, 2-on-1, I like those odds. I'm used to much more.
I heard that about you.
I'm used to much more than that. But we'll go from there. I appreciate, what you did earlier in the show. I mean, we're going to try to help there, and thanks for all the help. And you want to tell people who you have with you, because I see Rosemary Skaggs here looking beautiful in blue. So a shout out to her for supporting us and all this good stuff. And you have a couple sidekicks yourself. Do you want to at least mention their name?
Can we get them up here and just on camera for a second?
I don't like Andrew because he gave me a script. Well, but wait, my son's name is Andrew. You know what? Bring him up.
Okay, Andrew, come here. Take the mic for a second. Mr. IT man.
Here, wait. Let me help you. You're having mic trouble. Be careful and be nice. You hold that.
Okay.
Thanks. Introduce yourself.
I'm Andrew Slifka. I do the IT stuff around Empire. I'm the sidekick, so-called, but I have to deal with them all day, pretty much.
But he's very good with IT and also a lot of high-tech things. He's been with us for about 2 years now.
What did you steal him when he was 12 years old?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I did.
Well, you got to train him young. I
That's
respect
right.
what you're doing, and maybe you'll get your first paycheck someday. I'm a good negotiator. We can work on that. I'd like to negotiate with this guy.
I'd be in trouble. I'd be more in trouble with him, though.
Actually,
at least I
not.
Can still hear,
I
bring him talking from there. That's why I come out loud.
Well, I would bring him as a distraction for you, so you'd want to sign on the dotted line for Andrew. But
two girls with pretty shoes, and he'd be like off to the sides, and then it's me and you dancing.
Yeah, just bring one girl with one shoe. That's all it would take, just so you know.
That's all it takes.
Do you have anybody else you want to bring up?
Come on, Brad. The short one of the bunch. We call him Tiny.
Okay, Tiny.
He's 6'4".
Well, we'll have to bring him to his knees here. So.
Want me to crouch down for you, Al?
Yeah, that'd probably be good. That way you can be with your boss here.
I'm Brad Siegfried. I'm one of the investigators at Empire. I've been there for, what are we pushing, about 3 years now. So I went to LaRoche Site National Security, and I got hooked up with Bob here for an internship a few years ago, and it turned into what it is now. And
so you got a paying gig, unlike Andrew, who they stole out of the crib.
I'm trying.
Okay. No, well, that's
we'll
good.
get there one day.
I'm sure you have some interesting stories.
Don't
Don't tell them on air, please.
It's all
please.
confidential. I can't say a
Right.
word.
We signed that agreement too, so I was told not to ask you any questions.
Fair enough. But, it's a lot of fun, man. I appreciate everything that Bob's done for me, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate the support, and of course you got to like Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. And I was remiss because I always pass out some business cards. Andrew's too young. You are 18, right? I am. Come back up here. Whoa, I can't give you tickets to the game.
He can kick the training wheels.
Whoa.
He's all right. Yeah.
Here's my co-host, Zach Brenner. You get one of the Al Levine talking machine cards without the talking machine. Keep it simple, Sam. So we go by the KISS method. Now you can get a photo with all of us in. See, there's a strategy to this. Yeah, just so you know, I got to help. World-renowned photographer, international, even in outer space he's known.
Perfect. Thank you.
Want to get one more photo? Let's have Brad stand up.
Rosemary.
Rosemary, why don't you come in here? We need that rose among all these thorn bushes. Don't show your shoes, please.
She's wearing my shoes.
I can tell.
See you next game.
All right, we'll get a good photo here. Because we appreciate all the likes you generate us our way, and we're going to get
Absolutely.
2 new ones with
Absolutely.
Brad and Andrew. Because they didn't do it before they got here, so I'm thinking we'll be at 3,070. Thanks.
Get you more than that. Thanks again, guys. I
I appreciate
everything
it.
you do.
You take care.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Quite a surprise. It's on my birthday, too. That's amazing.
You know what? I didn't know. He doesn't tell me anything.
That's okay.
And it's not scripted. Look at the camera. We got the world-renowned international outer space photographer. I mean, he shot the moon.
Do you take Marvin Martian's pictures also? Twice?
He does all that. And congratulations on your Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm humbled. I'm stunned.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
Me
great.
too.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, after your loss and all that, my deepest sympathy goes out to you. And, I think about your mom and just what a great person she was and how she was so nice to us on her 2 appearances on our show.
Yeah.
So,
it was special.
Thanks.
It was special. Thank you.
What's on your mind here?
Well, as you guys well know, about a month or so back, Mona V sort of branched out into another company to go after the younger generation.
Mint?
Mint, very good.
M-Y-N-T.
M-Y-N-T, that's right. He's listening when I talk. Very good.
Unlike some others.
And a couple of their products are all-natural energy drinks and some and something I forgot to tell you before, and I know that you're definitely interested in, is this is one of our newer ones. It features the acai berry, of course, which all our product does, but the acerola berry as well.
Yeah.
But inside here is one of your favorite drinks.
Green tea.
The green tea is heavy in here.
Nice.
And here's one for you, and one
can't
for
wait. I need
young
my
man
green
here.
tea fixed. It's cold.
It's
Your
cold
assistant,
also.
Kenny must have helped you. I just heard his brother come in just to see the show.
Yeah, don't drink it tonight because you'll be up for 7 hours, 7 solid hours of energy.
He can drink it. He's up 24 hours.
That's right, Jim. You can drink it, man. But I neglected to tell you that it's full of your favorite drink in there.
You know what? Tomorrow morning, instead of my first cup of hot green tea,
There you go.
I'm drinking this.
There you go. You're on.
You
All
Hall
right.
of Famer.
All right.
Wait, Pittsburgh Sportsline, Sip Sports Bar, Hall of Famer. I think I said it right.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, because I didn't practice it yet. He's in charge of that.
I have a script for you.
Okay, thanks. I hope you have 2 of them.
Read Ebonics.
Yeah. That's how I roll. You know that. No doubt. So, what else are you in? Any events you got coming up? Or anything
no.
you're doing you want to publicize where they can see you? Or?
Well, actually, I'd like to talk a little about the Pittsburgh Power. I was at the game Saturday night, And through Facebook, I found out my man Jim was there also.
Yeah.
They are now in the playoffs for the first time in team history. They're 10-3. It's a very exciting game. In 3 weeks, they'll be playing their last home game, but they will be in the playoffs. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go see them, I think that you should.
It looks like a lot of fun. Friends of ours are there at the games, and your cousin Dom offered me free tickets. Smoking Jim told me he had free tickets. Listen to this. He didn't offer me any free tickets. And I'm like, oh, what happened? Because we had a cancellation of boxing. We were supposed to do boxing on Friday and Saturday, and the Canadians couldn't cross the border.
No, sir.
I found out before Smoking Jim. So, I mean, these things are mysterious how it happens. I was hoping to go to the game, so I'm still waiting. Maybe on the 20th when their playoff game is.
Yeah, we'll work on that for you. I'll tell Dominic to take care of you.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. We're glad we had
Thank
you
you
on.
for having me on. Thank you again for putting me in the Hall of Fame. I can't wait till the 14th.
And that's our show, Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sip Sports Bar. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for all the likes. We appreciate you on Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area, and I mean everywhere. Every community that gets Verizon in Pittsburgh and the surrounding area, you're on it. Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park, very popular with our show. And we're on YouTube 24/7, Mario. Just pencil it in, type it in, Pittsburgh Sportsline. I'm glad you asked that question, because I wondered why a lot of people aren't looking at that show on YouTube, but it's out there. And that's it, folks. Have a safe trip home.